Hollyoaks unveils harrowing new storyline for Saint and Lucas Hay as tensions explode. In a harrowing turn of events, Channel 4's long-running soap Hollyoaks has launched a deeply emotional and dark new chapter for one of its central families, the Hays. In the latest episode, the strained bond between father and son, Saint and Lucas Hay, took a brutal hit, setting the stage for a powerful and raw domestic storyline that promises to challenge viewers and characters alike. A shaky new beginning after surgery. Monday night's episode opened with a seemingly positive tone. Lucas, recovering from a serious brain tumor operation, appeared to be on the mend physically, but emotionally, the scars were far from healed. Sitting down with his father, Saint Hay, Lucas's first concern wasn't his own health but the well-being of his boyfriend, Dylan Ray. Dylan had recently been rescued from a terrifying trafficking ordeal, and the trauma left deep marks on both him and Lucas. Yet, as Lucas tried to open a conversation about Dylan's condition, Saint cut him off. He insisted that Lucas should stop focusing on Dylan and instead concentrate on his own recovery. The directive wasn't well received, and it hinted at deeper tensions brewing just below the surface. Dylan spirals, and Steve's guilt surfaces. The episode then shifted to the village square, where Saint encountered a visibly shaken Dylan. The teenager was seen rocking back and forth on the pavement in a disoriented state, clearly suffering. In a desperate moment, Dylan attempted to steal cash from Liberty Savage's market stall, shouting that he needed more spice, a reference to the synthetic drug known for its dangerous psychological effects. Saint confronted him, only to be met with Dylan's fury. Dylan, in a moment of emotional breakdown, placed blame on Saint for his current predicament, accusing him of tearing him away from Lucas and labeling him just an addict. For Saint, who has struggled with his own dark history involving drugs and poor choices, the accusation cut deep. Rather than reacting defensively, Saint experienced a moment of reflection. He acknowledged that in his attempt to protect his son, he had alienated someone who needed help just as much as Lucas did. The moment marked a turning point in Steve's attitude, a glimpse into the internal battle of a man trying desperately to make the right choices, even when those choices come at a cost. A controversial decision, bringing Dylan home. Realizing that Dylan's isolation was doing more harm than good, to both Dylan and Lucas, Saint made a bold and controversial decision. He invited Dylan to come live with the family, hoping that proximity to the people who care for him would aid in his recovery and also mend the rift with Lucas. Back at home, Saint broke the news to Lucas. But instead of being happy, Lucas was deeply confused. He didn't understand why Dylan, who had been forced out of his life so suddenly, was now being welcomed back without warning. Saint was forced to admit the truth. During Lucas's brain surgery and recovery, he had told Dylan to break up with Lucas and stay away. Saint believed that any emotional distress could hinder Lucas's healing process, but his approach lacked transparency, and it backfired. Explosive confrontation and a shocking act of violence. Lucas didn't take the revelation well. "What kind of a dad does that?" he shouted, visibly hurt. "None of this is okay. You've messed with my whole life, Dad." The father-son argument quickly spiraled. Saint tried to explain himself, but the emotional weight of his actions, compounded by Lucas's fragile post-surgery state, boiled over into violence. In a shocking and heartbreaking moment, Lucas lashed out physically, punching his father in the stomach during the altercation. It was a stunning scene, not just for the intensity of the violence but for what it symbolized. A fracture in the father-son relationship that may take a long time to repair, if it can be repaired at all. What's next for the Hays? According to upcoming Hollyoaks spoilers, this is only the beginning of a much darker storyline. The series is set to explore increasingly difficult territory as Lucas's behavior becomes more erratic and violent, and Saint finds himself grappling with how to keep his family intact while dealing with the consequences of his past and present choices. The storyline will reportedly delve into the emotional toll of childhood trauma, parental guilt, and the ripple effects of addiction and abuse, not just on individuals, but on the families who love them. Saint Hay's complex history comes back to haunt him. Fans of Hollyoaks know that Saint Hay is no stranger to trauma and redemption arcs. Over the years, he has battled addiction, endured abusive relationships, struggled with his sexuality, and even found himself on the wrong side of the law. His life has been a roller coaster of mistakes and hard-won wisdom, but those experiences also make him a deeply empathetic character. However, the past never stays buried in Hollyoaks, and Steve's decision to intervene in Lucas and Dylan's relationship, though made with good intentions, may reignite old patterns. In attempting to protect his son, he may have repeated the same mistakes of control and emotional suppression that have plagued him for years. Lucas Hay, a teen torn apart. For Lucas, the betrayal stings especially deep. As a teenager already navigating the complexities of identity, illness, and first love, having the one person he should be able to trust, his father, manipulate his relationship and emotional well-being has left him feeling isolated and angry. Lucas's recent violent outburst is likely a symptom of his inner turmoil. Viewers will see him struggle with unresolved anger, a sense of betrayal, and the physical and emotional recovery from his operation, all of which may lead him down a darker path. Will Lucas spiral further? Or can he find his own way back to stability, love, and self-acceptance? Is love enough? Meanwhile, Dylan's presence in the Hay household could be a double-edged sword. While the intention is to create a safe space for him to recover from the trauma of trafficking, the emotional volatility of the house could present new challenges. Dylan's dependency on spice, a dangerously addictive drug, and his unresolved mental health issues make him vulnerable. Steve's gesture of goodwill might be enough to give him hope, but whether it can lead to long-term recovery is yet to be seen. The dynamic between Dylan and Lucas, already strained by separation and the circumstances surrounding it, may become increasingly complicated as emotions rise and old wounds reopen. Viewers respond to a powerful, unflinching storyline. Early viewer reactions on social media have highlighted the episode's emotional impact and praised the cast, particularly Kieran Richardson, Saint Hay, Oscar Curtis, Lucas Hay, and Nathaniel Doss, Dylan Ray, for their gripping performances. This episode was hard to watch but so important, one fan tweeted. Kudos to #Hollyoaks for portraying real trauma with honesty and heart. Others echoed sentiments of concern and hope that the soap continues to handle such sensitive subjects with care and accuracy, particularly regarding the psychological fallout of abuse, addiction, and family violence. The bigger picture, Hollyoaks' commitment to social issues. Hollyoaks has built a reputation for fearlessly tackling difficult social issues, from domestic abuse to mental illness and everything in between. With this new storyline, the show continues to push boundaries, raising awareness about the impact of parental decisions, childhood trauma, and substance abuse. The creative team has reportedly worked closely with mental health and addiction experts to ensure that the storyline is portrayed with sensitivity and realism. The goal is not only to entertain but to shed light on issues that many viewers might be facing in their own lives. Conclusion. A family at breaking point. The emotional journey of Saint, Lucas, and Dylan is far from over. With each character holding pain and secrets of their own, the road to healing will be anything but smooth. As the story unfolds in the coming weeks, viewers can expect more intense confrontations, heartbreaking revelations, and perhaps, eventually, glimmers of redemption. But for now, the Hay family stands at a precipice, teetering between reconciliation and complete breakdown. And in true Hollyoaks fashion, the path forward promises to be as compelling as it is painful.